Hello everyone and welcome back to English with Kayleigh. In today's video I'm going to be taking a look at another one of Jackie Kay's poems entitled Rubble from the CAIE A-level syllabus. So this particular one comes from her collection entitled Life Mask, which was released in 2005, and this collection looks at love, loss, secrets and mistaken identity and almost self-realization and finding oneself. These searching poems reveal the many ways people hide from each other and from themselves, which is quite important when we look at the context of the poem Rubble. So first of all, I'll read the poem to you and then we'll kind of give a brief overview and outline, and then we'll go through stanza by stanza. Rubble. What was the thought that I just had in my head? It's gone and I want to grab it. It brought to mind the world is in bits and things smash and crash. It was small, inconsequential, or was it something not worthy of the red admiral I just saw on the grass? Something crucial, change the record, maybe that, stop playing the broken heart. The world outside is breaking apart. Pull yourself together, maybe. Something like that. I can't be sure. Thoughts crumble and disintegrate and disappear. Cucumber for my eyes. Remember, get cucumber. I used to have an order in my house, my head. Now I can't remember a thing I've said. It's all a whirl and a swirl, a gush and a gutter, a flood, a mud spill. Goodness. It's all mess and clutter and rubble in my soft head. All I want is the dear old bed. Downstairs, damp-proof men and the radio blaring. Upstairs, the tiles are falling off the roof. One day, I hope for somebody kind, somebody who would not make me feel I was losing my mind. Somebody who wouldn't mind where I put what, or what I forgot, or what else is there? I can't remember. Somebody what? Somebody who? Dear, oh dear, somebody you. So here we see this monologue, this thought process of a person that's obviously experiencing some extreme levels and extreme measures of confusion. So we get themes of mental degradation, despair, confusion. Interestingly, the structure takes on 3 octaves, but as we go through and we look at the punctuation, we do see a kind of breakdown in the structure of the poem. And the tone is quite colloquial. It is comedic in places, but of course very sad and ambiguous simultaneously, which is something that is quite characteristic of Kay's work, even though she will discuss quite serious and often saddening themes and topics. She will do it in a quite colloquial and comedic way. Okay, so before we get into the analysis itself, we do have to look at the semantic field that we see. We're seeing smash, crash, breaking, crumble, disintegrate, despair, whirl, swirl, gush, gutter, flood, a mud spill, clutter, rubble. Definitely lending itself to the aftermath of something that's occurred in one's life or an event. So we see the title Rubble, which of course has synonyms of debris, remains, so something that's been left and something that someone's trying to deal with. So straight away we start with an interrogative. We've got a question and it's as if the speaker is searching for an answer to a question, which is quite reflective of the nature of the poem. They're trying to figure something out. It's gone and I want to grab it. So quite interesting here that they've got the first person pronoun. It makes it a very expressive and cathartic poem. There's almost a purging of emotions, and the use of idioms throughout creates a colloquial tone and voice. Then we see a lot of questioning. It was small, inconsequential, or was it something not worthy of the red admiral I just saw on the grass? Something crucial, change the record, maybe that. So there's a world of confusion for the speaker and their internal thoughts and questions. And this is also emphasized by the idea of this image and the use of a red admiral. So talking about is it worthy of a butterfly that she just saw or the speaker saw on the grass? So not an easy connection to make between the image and the ideas being expressed. And I think that's what Kay is probably trying to emphasize and trying to do here, is that there isn't a link. There's something missing between the internal thoughts and the being able to chronologically put things into order for the speaker. Maybe that, stop playing the broken heart, pull yourself together maybe. So there's a lot of indecisiveness, but within this kind of feeble attempt for order, this person is desperately trying to create order within their mind, but clearly struggling. So again, we've got this enjambment. The world outside is breaking apart. So it's uncontrollable, it's ongoing. And the idea of the world outside is also juxtaposed with the idea that things are clearly crumbling and disintegrating in the speaker's mind. And we see that actually throughout the poem itself. The thoughts and the control crumble as well. Sentence structure and punctuation, they break down. Sentences no longer make sense. Remember, get cucumber as an interrogative. So we can actually see the crumbling of the speaker's internal thoughts throughout the poem. Again, we've got the plosive D, so there's possibly a lot of despair for the speaker here, confusion and anger of the fact that they can't remember, that they cannot put order within their mind. So, of course, when we would talk about cucumbers for your eyes, this is something that we use to relax, possibly at the spa. So this must be something quite calming for the speaker, perhaps a way to gain control again, or just to relax. I used to have order in my house, my head. So here we've got this physical and metaphorical connection between the mind and home, in that, okay, it's possible that they have home that they've kind of lost control of, but also of the mind. But then this layered meaning of, our mind is our home, it's where we live, and it's where things make sense to us. And this is all becoming clouded for the speaker. Now I can't remember a thing I've said. It's a whirl and a swirl, a gush and a gutter, a flood, a mud spill. And then we've got goodness, very colloquial. It's a mess and clutter and rubble. So there's a lot of onomatopoeia here, active verbs, really bringing it to life, this kind of, this action even within the speaker's head. And we see the semantic field of mess, nature, but nature with negative connotations, which isn't particularly characteristic of Kay's work. Nature is usually a place of freedom and happiness. So it's quite important here that it's given this negative connotation of, floods, whirl spills, a mud spill, it's mess, it's clutter. So a slightly different approach to the theme of nature for Kay and her work. And then we have more enjambment in my soft head. And this is very derogatory, and especially when speaking of someone else, but also of yourself, because it has connotations of either being stupid or crazy. All I want is the dear old bed. So again, we've got a further reference to home and mind, that they're struggling within themselves and that they just want to be home. They want to have a safe place. Downstairs, damp-proof men and the radio blaring. Upstairs, the tiles are falling off the roof. Again, this mental degradation and disrepair. this is not something that can be fixed quickly, and it just seems as if there is attacking from all sides. There's no escaping it. The loud sounds of the radio, you know, the disintegration of the house, the tiles are falling off. And then we almost have a plea or a hope coming through. One day I hope for somebody kind, somebody who would not make me feel I was losing my mind. Internal rhyme here, so really much a hope or a prayer almost. Someone who wouldn't mind where I put what, or what I forgot, or what else is there I can't remember. We get a serious sense of sadness here, and it lends itself to the question of, has this been a previous experience? Maybe somebody has made them feel like they were losing their mind. The repetition of somebody within this stanza really reflects their need for care, and that they just hope one person can reach out. And then we've got somebody what, somebody who. So again, we've got interrogatives. The pace picks up at the end. Dear, oh dear, somebody you. So it's quite colloquial, comedic tone, but again, a very serious content, which is of course characteristic of Kayleigh's work. The questions are of a serious nature, the person looking for them, but this, this rhyme and colloquial questioning makes it almost comedic. Dear, oh dear, somebody you. A very ambiguous ending again. We could infer, we could go back to the first statement. If I just go to the previous page so we can read it. What was the thought I just had in my head? So it could be that the thought, the final thought, was you, the speaker, the reader. And it almost comes back to the first question and statement, because if we read on, it also says, I want to reach out and I want to grab it. So then it could have more of a sinister, aggressive tone. But again, with this ambiguous ending, we can only really infer or take a guess as to what Kay was trying to say. So that's the poem. The phonology, of this somebody, what, who, what else is there, what I forget, it really does reflect the crumbling and descent of the human mind. And this random, unconventional rhyme emphasizes the confusion expressed by the speaker. There's no order to it, which reflects her mind and what's happening. So again, this was another one of the June 2021 exam questions. Looking at question B, write a critical appreciation of the following poem, considering in what ways it's characteristic of Kay's poetic methods and concerns here and elsewhere in the selection. So of course you want to be looking at things like looking at pork pies. You could also look at the underground baby case, where we also see a woman who's suffering with her mental health, and she makes decisions that are very questionable. But also in terms of characteristics, you could definitely look at the comedic effects that Kay uses within her poems. So the examiner's comments, because I think these are very, very important in helping you to know what they're looking for in your response to the exam questions. The most successful answers combined proficient technical analysis of Rubble with a sympathetic and contextualized understanding of the poem and wider selection. Some explored poetic methods, including Kay's use of punctuation and rhyme to create a sense of a mind slowly disintegrating in a fog of memories and panic, which is something that we spoke about. Less successful answers lacked coherence, and some appeared to be approaching the poem as if it were unseen. Again, something that I've mentioned. I know there's not a lot about Jackie Kay's poems online, so it's very, very important to do your research. Watch the videos that I've created for the other poems, so you can try to find links. Weaker answers struggled to understand the precise circumstances of the persona in the poem and offered limited reference to the wider collection. So it's very important that you can watch the other videos and try to find links between them so as not to lose marks for that section. So I hope this video has been helpful. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye guys.